Lose yourself to Shoobs!
Hello, my name is Shoobs. I'm 24 years old, and until earlier this year, I had never read a single page of a Harry Potter novel. I know, it's the worst thing in the world, I'm the worst person in the world, they're the best books ever. I'm fixing it, I'm reading the books now and creating a podcast about it, which you can find on iTunes and SoundCloud, called Potterless. We'll discuss that later, but for now, I want to talk about all of the plot holes in the first book, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Don't get me wrong, I love the book, there's just a lot of problems that I noticed, so let's discuss some of them, shall we? In the beginning of the book, it mentions that wizards are trying to be discreet from muggles, but they walk around in robes. So why, if they're trying to be discreet, don't they just wear street clothes? When Dumbledore goes to drop off baby Harry at the Dursleys' house, he puts out the streetlights with a device called the Put Outer. I'm not kidding, it's actually called the Put Outer. Couldn't J.K. Rowling have thought of any other name in the world? They described the bartender at the Leaky Cauldron to, quote, resemble that of a toothless walnut. I'm sorry, but why do we not ever call people toothless walnuts? It's the best insult in the world. They go to Ollivander's to get Harry's wand, and all of the wands are between 8 and 12 inches. Like, is there any way we can make these less phallic, like, made of wood, 8 and 12 inches? Boys get them when they're 10 or 11, like when you're starting to go through puberty. Like, there's way too many parallels, JK. The letters from Hogwarts don't explain to the kids how to get to platform 9 3/4, but it's hidden behind a brick wall. Like, Harry had no idea how to get to platform 9 3/4 until he saw the Weasleys go through a brick wall, and he asked a bunch of muggles, hey, how do I get to platform 9 3/4? And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? There is no platform 9 3/4. So I feel like that's slightly problematic that A, they don't tell the children how to get there unless they have wizard friends or family that have already done it before, and B, if they're trying to keep secret from the muggles, they should tell the kids, oh, by the way, don't ask muggles about a platform 9 3/4. They don't know it exists. Also, has no muggle ever seen someone just vanishing through a brick wall and been like, huh, that was oddly suspicious? Is there a reason why the traditional rule is that first-year students can't play Quidditch? Like, at 10 years old, you're too young to play Quidditch, but once you turn 11, you're like, yep, I can totally fly around on a broom and throw balls at people and not fall 50 feet to my death. Also, why is it totally okay that Harry's the exception to this rule just because he's really good and Gryffindor hasn't won in a while? And also, why don't people make a bigger deal about it? Like, if I was one of the 3 other teams, and it's like, oh, Harry Potter, this first-year student, is a really good seeker, and now Gryffindor's the best team, I'd be like, oh, rulebook, he can't be the seeker. Also related to Quidditch, why is the snitch worth so many points? It's literally worth 15 times as many points as a goal. There is no point in Quidditch except for the seeker catching the snitch. Nothing else matters at all. There's no way you're gonna be down by 160 points before like your guy catches the snitch. It's not gonna happen. It's so absurd. I could go on for hours on end about how terrible and nonsensical Quidditch is, but I do that enough in the podcast, so you should take a listen. Malfoy challenges Harry and Ron to a midnight duel, which turns out to be an elaborate setup to try to get him in trouble. But Malfoy chickens out of going to a midnight duel. Why don't Ron and Harry just tease him endlessly for being a big chicken and not living up to the own duel that he started? Why is detention something that can get the kids killed? Like, they send these 10-year-old human beings into a forest that is filled with centaurs and giant spiders and Voldemort, and they're just like, yep, you know, that's detention for you. That's what you get for being out past your bedtime. Possible death. Why doesn't every student stay for Christmas break? Because they described it as amazing. They have this Christmas feast, and there's beautiful decorations, and everyone gets gifts, and you get to hang out with the teachers, and Dumbledore, and everyone else. Like, why doesn't every student just stay over Christmas break? Hogwarts at Christmas sounds incredible. They never explain how you properly store an invisibility cloak, because since it is invisible, like, couldn't you run into the situation where you fold it, like, inside out or something, and then you just can't find it ever? So at the end of the book, where he's dueling with Voldemort / the teacher with the turban, and they're doing a whole Sorcerer's Stone in the mirror of the Erised thing, like, Harry sees his reflection have the Sorcerer's Stone and put it in the mirror Harry's pocket, and then real Harry has the Sorcerer's Stone in his pocket. How did that happen? How did that work? Like, how is there this, like, secret code that it's like, oh, if Harry looks into the mirror, then it'll transfigure and go into his pocket? Like, that seems super sketchy, super convenient. I know it's magic, but, like, it was never explained. Was there a spell? Did Dumbledore do this? Is this how the mirror works? There's so many questions. And finally, the House Cup thing at the end is complete and utter bullshit. The fact that Neville Longbottom gets 10 points for being brave is absurd. Absolutely absurd, because Gryffindors are supposed to be brave. That's a quality of being in Gryffindor, is that you are brave. If that's the case, then Ravenclaw should get 10 points anytime they do their homework because they're the nerds, and Hufflepuff should get 10 points anytime they're, like, nice to someone because that's what they do, and Slytherin should get 10 points anytime they, like, tell a mean joke because they're the assholes. It doesn't make any sense that Dumbledore's like, Neville, you were brave. Here's 10 points for doing what you should have been doing the whole book, but you waited till now to do it. Gryffindor wins the House Cup by 10 points. Like, it's so arbitrary. It's ridiculous. And those are all of the gripes that I have with the first book. Now, obviously, I'm kidding about almost all of these, except for Quidditch. That is ridiculous. But it's a great book. I really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the series thus far. I'm on the 4th book right now, and they've all been amazing. So if you enjoyed this type of commentary, I really think you'll like the podcast that I'm doing. So it's called Potterless, and basically how it works is I go through the plot of each book, and I interview one of my friends, a lot of which are from YouTube, who are Harry Potter fanatics, like obsessed with the series, really into it. We just get a nice dialogue about me being really snarky and them just loving the book, and we just go back and forth about all of them, and it's been really great. If you want to find it, it's on iTunes and SoundCloud and Stitcher. You just gotta search Potterless. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna make more of these videos, so stay tuned, and I'll see you all sometime in the very near future.
Lose yourself to shoes.